Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you are doing well. This is my second video, and it is going to be about cardio or cardiac phobia, which is something that I've dealt with for a while, and it is something that is super scary. Just being so like over uh, observant about the way that your body's feeling, and really like super aware of everything that's going on with yourself, and like even myself, I've been having um, I would say palpitations and heartbeat abnormalities and irregular heartbeats and tachycardia, which means your heart beats a lot faster than normal. Normal resting heart rate would be around 100. If I was having an anxiety attack, it's gotten close to 200 before. Since then, my anxiety has gotten a lot better. I've been able to deal with it through natural remedies of like taking magnesium, which helps with mental health, and also blood pressure, beetroot extract, garlic extract, and also prayer. I'm going to be really super honest with you. I am a firm believer in Jesus Christ, and there's only one healer that starts from the bottom up. Basically, your foundation and getting things right. And if you're serious about wanting to become a Christian, and it's as simple as acknowledging Him as your Savior, and you go from there. Just believing in your heart that He is who He is, and acknowledging it with your mouth. Doesn't even I don't even know if it has to be in front of people, but things start to happen after that. Whenever you start to pray and have a relationship with God, He starts revealing things to you and dealing with areas in your life. And next thing you know, a lot of weight gets lifted off of you. And I felt like for me, that is the biggest help for my health, mental health, is to be a Christian and talk to God as much as possible. And that is my belief. If you don't believe that, you're welcome to believe whatever you want. This is a free country. And that's just how it is. But that's what I believe. I'm also not going to preach to you on here. I'm going to do my best to tell you ways that just to deal with anxiety on a regular basis, regardless of what religion you follow, and even if you don't follow any at all. So, as far as the cardiac phobia, it started whenever I was probably 16 years old after a soccer game on the bus ride back to the school. I started having skipped heartbeats and stuff, and I didn't know why. It could have just been from exertion. I'm sure lots of people deal with it, and I went to the doctor for it, freaking out as a kid, and they couldn't really find anything wrong. They did echocardiograms, and they put me on a medicine, I think, for tachycardia at the time, and there's even I got off the medicine. I don't remember why. I just stopped taking it. I'm 32 years old now, and I'm not dead yet. I've had lots of episodes of fluttering heartbeats and things like that. Normally, or generally around times where I was having a lot of anxiety. Even if it wasn't at this specific time where I was having an anxiety attack, it was shortly after, maybe the next day or that night, laying down most of the time on my back. I could feel it, and it was really uncomfortable. It made me super anxious. I would get up and take a shower or do anything just to help calm myself down, especially a lot of praying and things like that. And eventually it became something that I kind of accepted, and that as time went by, I looked at as being less and less dangerous. But every time I went to the doctor, even up until now, sometimes I'm like terrified of blood pressure getting checked, and of course my anxiety going in there makes my blood pressure high. And I know that if I take blood pressure meds, it's going to have other side effects. Like recently I took one, I forget what it was called, but after about 2 or 3 days, 4 days of taking it, my ankles and legs were swelling up, and I was having these weird little red blotches, which is a side effect of that medication. And I don't like that. I feel like that's not good that my body was having that swelling, and so I stopped taking it, and I'm looking for more natural remedies. And honestly, if you are having blood pressure issues and you're young like I am, and you're of a healthy weight like I am, I'm 6 feet tall and weigh 230 pounds. One good thing to do is to lay off of sugary drinks like sodas. There have been scientific studies that I've looked up myself that show that when people lay off of drinking things like that, and also alcohol at the same time if you are drinking that, but just the sugary drinks alone, like Sprite, 7 Up, Coke, whatever, they were showing an average improvements in blood pressure, diastolic and systolic numbers dropping between 10 and 15 points. So, say you have blood pressure 140 over 80, it would drop to something similar to 125 over 65, maybe, which is great. My blood pressure was a lot worse than that, especially going to the doctor's office and like tripping out and freaking out. Before I was having the issues with the blood pressure, I would go in and it would be checked. And normally at the doctor's office, I was a little bit nervous anyway. So it was about 130 over 75 all the time. Once I started having the issues with anxious about the blood pressure, things like that, it would be like 180 over 90. One time it was 200 and something over 100 and something. And I was terrified. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought something was wrong with me. I just wanted to be normal. I didn't want to have blood pressure issues, but it's something that I have, and a lot of people in my family have it. But there are natural ways to get over that, mostly by just changing your diet and doing things differently and exercising. It will help you. Like, there's tons of scientific proof, data, research to show that a healthy diet and exercise improves a lot of things going on in your body. There's also a lot of things that you can take, supplements that help you along that path, that you can just do a little bit of research and find for yourself. So one thing that really helps me is what you see in front of the camera right now is some beautiful African cichlids. I didn't know what to do to help me calm down after getting home from work, to help me get in a a mindset where I could actually fall asleep. So what I did was I went and bought a fish tank. This was close to over a year ago. This isn't the exact one I started with. I actually started with some mollies. That's a type of fish, freshwater fish. These are also freshwater fish. But I started with those just to watch them swim around. And I'm telling you what, just watching the fish helps so much. I don't know what it is about it. It really helps. So I wanted to be original. So I named this channel The Anxious Fish. And every single one of these videos, you're going to get to see these beauties swimming around. Back to the cardiophobia, cardiac phobia, whatever. This is something that has completely ruined certain times of my life. I am an avid hunter, deer hunter, squirrel hunter, duck hunter, all that stuff. I love doing that. It helps me just feel at home. Like, I like being in the woods. I like getting ready for deer season and things like that. I just something that I enjoy. Everybody has their, I guess, USA, and that is mine. But there was a year there where I couldn't even sit in my deer stand anywhere that I felt obligated to stay. I couldn't sit still. It would make my anxiety worse. I would become super self-aware of what my heart was doing and things like that. And I'd have to leave the woods and get in my car and start driving. And also driving was one of the only things that would help me deal with it. Driving and prayer, calming music, doing my best to meditate. That's all that I had. So I ended up turning to YouTube for help, and I found a lot of things on here that gave me hope that I would be okay. And I hope the same for you, that you listen to what me, which I am not a doctor or anything like that. Please don't feel that way, that I'm in any way qualified to give you medical advice by any means at all. So if you feel like you're having a heart issue and you think it is anxiety and you are afraid to go to the doctor, I don't feel like that it's my right to be able to tell you to go to the doctor because of how much trouble I had doing that. I was terrified of going to the doctor. I basically kind of had what they call white jacket syndrome, where just the thought of going to the doctor's office just terrifies you. You feel like anytime you go there that they're going to give you the worst news possible, which is you need a heart transplant, or just these off the wall things, which could happen, but it's not very likely. But I was dealing with that. So I want to tell you that if you feel like you're having a heart issue, get it checked out, go to the doctor. There's nothing that can make you feel better than having a doctor tell you that you're fine. That is the biggest weight off of your shoulders. I've had doctors tell me that I'm going to be okay. But over a amount of time, sometimes that fades away and you have to go back again and get reassurance, get a checkup. But for me, like I said myself, that is so hard for me to do. And also another issue is like having people know this about me, like kind of bothered me. I didn't want them to think of me as less of a person, but it is what it is. And I'd rather feel better and be honest with people about like, hey, I have anxiety issues. I mean, people know that. I don't go into like super detail with it, but it is there, and people know it. My wife knows it. She has a lot of issues with anxiety also, and I look at it as normal. Also, like in my as in a Christian standpoint, it has brought me a lot closer to God every time I have an issue, just to be able to turn to Him about it. And even though I don't see Him with my physical eyes or always feel like He's there, I know that I didn't become a part of this universe by chance. You know, like there has to be a maker. There is a master engineer and a designer of all this, and that is my belief. And I believe that, you know, Jesus Christ is my only way to true salvation and to real peace that no one understands but Him and can be given by no one but Him. So if you don't have a Bible and you are willing to try something new, and I believe that you won't regret it. So go pick yourself up a Bible. I wouldn't really suggest a King James Version because that's like really old school. They say like thou sayeth and a bunch of stuff like that. But get you something that I guess you could do research on a Bible that would fit you. I mean, they're all pretty much the same thing. They just are said with different terminology and whatever else. They're not different than the next one or whatever. They are the same Bible. They're just different, like I guess you would say slang or lingo or whatever. So find you one that you like and start reading it. And there's tons of verses about anxiety. And whenever you just read the Bible in general, it helps. So anyways, thank y'all so much for joining me today. There'll be plenty more videos on cardiac phobia as it is, because there's so much to say about it. And plus I'll have another whole bunch of videos on all types of anxiety, including, for instance, just general anxiety, not knowing where it comes from, anxiety that has to deal with separation, anxiety that has to deal with all kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I've experienced in my life, and I want to share that with you all the viewers, and hopefully that I could help one of you. If I get to help one of you, that's worth it. So anyways, God bless every single one of you. Like and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time.